Okay, so welcome back to part 5. So God has pretty much given me direction on what I need to do as far as getting out to start my own business. So I had got the information from Sue. She said, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to create some packages, some nail packages for manicures and pedicures, and you're going to sell these to your regulars. They're going to pay you cash, and you're going to go out into a salon suite debt free. And I got home, decided I wasn't going to do it. So I'm sitting on the couch. That was the most uncomfortable relaxation I had in my life. That couch felt like bricks. I literally could not relax until I got up and did what God told me to do. At this time, a client of mine had given me a desktop computer. Her name was Fran. Thank you, Fran. Fran and her husband had given me a desktop computer. I absolutely love people. God will move on their heart, to do something for me, and I am always so honored because I know I don't deserve anything but death. But God himself is like, I'm going to give you, grace, and I'm going to, bless you. So that's what he did. So I had a desktop computer at this time. So I go to my desktop computer. I'm like, all right, if this is what you want me to do, let's just do it. And I was so then I typed up a bunch of packages. 5 manicures, 5 pedicures, blah blah blah. So I had all these packages. Then I had one package that you can get whatever you want, $2,000 for a whole year. Now that was crazy because there's no way I should have had that package, but I did. And I didn't think anybody was going to buy that package, but somebody did. The atheist, I had a client that was an atheist. Man, I would argue nonstop. She bought that package and put the whole tip on there, everything, sent me a check cash. So anyway, I typed up the whole list and I typed up a letter that, hey, I'm going to go out and start my own business. I'm selling packages ahead of time. And then, so after I typed all that out, I typed out the packages. I put in an envelope with a stamp that they could mail the checks back to my house for the packages. So then I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, Lord, who do I give these envelopes to? Like, who do I give this to? And immediately names started to come up in my spirit. My little cell phone. I had a cell phone. It was a BlackBerry 8900 or something. So I'm sitting there typing out names as fast as they're coming to me. It's like the person's face was coming in the mind. Like I saw them in my mind. So I started typing up all their first and last names, exact spellings. So I typed them all out, and I'm like, okay, now how am I supposed to find them? So I didn't think about that anymore. I had already did my part. So I went into the spa the next day. I'm on the computer looking at my schedule for the next week. These women started booking. All of them were scheduled to come within 7 days. All of them got on the phone, called the spa, and booked an appointment to come and to see me. They asked for me. So that's what happened. So they would come in for their services, and when they were done, I would give them an envelope and tell them, do not open this until you're in your car. Now, God gave me 35 names. Only about 28 of those women purchased packages, okay? Now, I want you to understand this. Many times God will tell people to help you, but he doesn't violate their will. If they won't do it, he is not mad at them. He just moves on to somebody else, right? So I don't want you to look at it like, okay, well, God told this person, they didn't do it and blah, blah, blah. They have their own will. They didn't have to. God gave me the names. I gave all those women a package, and the women that purchased, and I was fine with that. It didn't matter because I didn't see them as my source. God was my source, right? So that was that. So I passed out the envelopes. I waited. A couple of weeks passed. Nothing was happening. Nobody even said anything to me. And all of a sudden, all these envelopes started coming in the mail. Y'all. Now, mind you, I'm in my early 30s. I'm probably, I think, 34, 35. And I'm in my early 30s. And I didn't know. I just didn't know that this could happen. So I get all the envelopes, and before it's all over, I had over $10,000 in the mailbox from people that were buying packages. And like I said, the one that bought the package that was the most expensive was a woman named Terry, who was an atheist. And she was friends with Stephen Hawking. Like she knew him. He was like a friend of hers. But she was an atheist. And she is the one that bought the most expensive package. And so I got this money, I got these checks, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at them, I'm on the couch, I'm like, now what do I do? Now I have to do it. Now I'm called out into the water. It's like, get out the boat now. And so I'm like, all right. So my natural mind said, okay, I'm going to work another few months so I could put up a nest egg. I can put up savings. I can, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm going to go out. And so I started looking at places, looking at salon suites. I couldn't really find anything. Then I found one. I don't know. Somebody told me about one. A friend of mine told me about one that she had passed by one day. I went to see it. And the guy that owned it, I was talking to him. And I told him that I was just starting out. I didn't have a clientele. I'm explaining everything to him. And he ran everything and he gave it to me. So now I didn't sign the lease. So now I have to do it. I was like, oh my God, I just signed the lease. Now I got to buy furniture. So then I'm sitting on the couch and I'm trying to figure out now, how do I even get started? I don't even know where you get nail stuff from. Like, I had no idea about any of this. So then I got a email from a girl named Andrea. Andrea did skincare at the spa. Andrea reached out to me and said, Kim, I would like to meet you to have lunch. And I thought, why in the world would Andrea be meeting me to have lunch? The only conversation me and her have ever had was in passing in the hallway. She only said hi and bye to her. The last I heard of Andrea had went and opened her own spot. She opened her own place to do waxing. And so that was the last time I had ever heard of her. And so she reached out to me because now we were friends on Facebook. And so she reached out to me to have lunch with her. And so I agreed to have lunch with her. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went over to have lunch with her, and she had her baby in a stroller. She had a son. He was new. And she had him in a stroller, and we're walking and talking, and I'm still trying to think, why would she contact me for lunch? We're not like that. And so we're walking, and we sit down in this little restaurant for sandwiches. She pulls out of the baby bag. The baby bag was gray. She pulled out of this gray baby bag a stack of papers that was stapled, and she slid it across the table. She said, "This is everything you need to start your own business." She did, yeah. Andrea, and we're not friends on Facebook because of politics and that kind of thing, but she did. She slid over that stack of papers. So I started flipping through the papers, and it was step by step. She had literally wrote down what I needed to do to get the EIN number, how to get the sales tax information. She wrote everything down. She wrote where I needed to order so-and-so, like all kinds of stuff, because me and her used to work at the same spa. And so I went home, and I was just in awe, just overwhelmed, because God was leading me step by step. And so I did everything she said. I got my EIN number. I got everything set up. I started ordering stuff. So stuff started getting shipped to me little by little. And then it started to get to a place where it became real. So I'm driving. I'm thinking, I can't continue at the spot because I have integrity. And I knew that it was time for me to go. And so what I did was I went in, and I kept feeling like I have to quit. And this was just, I didn't plan on it. Like I had planned on working for another couple of months. And so I'm in a spa, and I'm leaving, and I get to the elevator to go home, and the Holy Spirit was telling me to go back and get my stuff, get any personal belonging that I still want. And so I went back to my locker, and I got my French brush, and I got a couple of things, and I got back on the elevator, and I'm going down. I'm thinking, why am I taking this stuff home? So I'll tell you in the next part.